May your name be glorified. May you be exalted. May you, O Elohim, be praised. Now and forevermore we pray.
We say amen to that. And this is Radio Biafra. We're back again this morning. So keep doing what we are doing. A freedom fighting organization, and there is nothing anybody can do to stop us. Today I want to talk about exclusively what is happening to, because I'm reading some tweet or whatever from some people. You know, when you have a family and you are the head of the family, or you are somebody in the family, you will think that everybody is on your side. Let something happen to you, and then you will see that there are people who have been wishing. A case in point, I'll tell you about a friend of mine who called me recently and was asking me financial help or something for his son who was supposed to travel. And he told me something. He said, when my father passed, he left me a property, a piece of land somewhere in Imo State. I don't want to call the name of the person. And it's quite a large land. So he wanted me to actually give him money and take possession of the land. Whenever he has the money to pay me back, he will pay me back and the rest of them. And I said to him, after thinking very closely, I said, but you have this property that I think the bank will be interested in. I'm not asking you to sell, but you can borrow money with it. Give it to them as collateral. They'll give you money, and eventually. And the guy was very silent on the phone. After a long time, then he spoke. He didn't tell me anything, but I think what I told him sunk into his brain, because I told him that, number one, I wouldn't say I don't have money to give you. I don't loan you. I don't loan money to my friends. To be honest with you, I never do that. I'd rather give them, because if you ask for something that you say is a loan, I want to keep you as a friend, because I know you're not going to pay back. So what I can give you is exactly what I can afford, and that's what I did for this guy. Whatever I can afford, I give it to you for free. Don't pay me back, so we can remain friends. Then 2 days later, he called me back. He said, do you know something? When I mentioned the land, 2 of my little brothers got up. People were not even born when they gave me the property, because they were little. I'm older than all of them. And they're willing to fight me and cut off my head because of that land. I said, you see, you have been the one supporting them as your junior, or juniors, or junior, whatever. But today they want to cut off your head because of a piece of land. The same thing is not different from our leader, Mazi. All these things his brothers are doing is, we know. For him, he is a sacrificial lamb. He's somebody they can get money from. They talk about things in the area where they are not supposed to even get involved in. That's where they get involved in. And they make they're talking about the legal team being sacked and the rest of them. I laugh over it, because how can you sack what? The people have finished their job. And they have 100%. If it was an A+, they finished. They finished their job. They are holding our leader incommunicado because they are afraid of him. You're not talking about a country that has laws. Yes, a country that has laws that don't obey their law is like not having laws at all. That's exactly the way it is. Now they have brought people that the organizers think that anything is going to happen. IPOB is away from this case. We are keeping our fingers crossed. He's our leader. He remains our leader, indubitable our leader. There's no doubt about it. There's no question about it. But since they want to take over, let them take over. We are not interested. We have finished our job. Ozakome and the Jofo have landed their job. If anybody thinks that they're going to bring God to bring them out, these people are John Wayne. Let me know. I don't know why I should use that word John Wayne, but for as a child, I watch so many John Wayne's movies and I look at him as an outlaw. That's what Nigerian government is. Complete outlaw, completely outlaws. They cannot do anything legal. Even though they have laws, they have rules, they have what they call their laws, but have they used it well? No. They have not done anything and they're not going to do anything. And if anybody thinks that they are going to get up tomorrow and give up the fight, no. All they are planning is to frustrate everybody so that they will put in some morons that call themselves lawyers that are not even thinking. If you are a lawyer, you're an officer of the court. Allow those who are doing their job to finish their job, but you go out there, even though they have finished their job, what else are they going to do? They got all the courts in the land. Acquit this guy. Appeal court said, you can't try him. Now they took him to the Supreme Court. And they said, when somebody is not guilty of an offense and you are appealing, what you are appealing is that you want him to be guilty. So what else are they demanding? They have gone to the courts. Tell me one single law, one single verdict that Nigerian government has obeyed. Not just one. I want you to tell me one. There is none, because they don't know how to obey their own laws. They make laws that for them it's a law, but for them it does not really matter. We can disobey it flagrantly without nobody thinking, nobody going to question us. Somebody, I'm getting a tweet here. They said community radio is not talking, and then it's okay now. Okay, so we are in the right order. So this morning I'm going to read for you some handouts. And first of all, before I go, I can see a poster here that has too many people on it. The army is now campaigning. I tell you, Nigeria is a wonderful place. The army is now campaigning against IPOB and ESN. They are publishing names. They are putting posters everywhere that the army is the one that, not the government, the army. They are the ones now advertising who is legal and who is not legal, who is a terrorist and who is not a terrorist. Unagotaya. There's no way you can do anything to this noble family. We know what we are doing. In the end, we will all smile. Whether you like it or not, Biafra is around the corner for us. So you can advertise all you want, publish all you want, take the paper. The military, I'm talking about military, and we're in a democratic dispensation, not the military rule. Let us say the army was the ones ruling us today and they are doing what they are doing. I wouldn't complain. We will not talk about it. But we're supposed to be a democratic, independent nation. Democratic. People are voted into office and the army is out there printing posters and I don't know if they want to declare them wanted. I don't know why my picture not there. They look whether they go see my photo for them. It means I said they don't forget me. Maybe I'm a tiny little terrorist. All right, let me read this. I said it's published by our media and publicity secretary. Says deployment of military to Ogbaru by Governor Soludo wouldn't stop IPOB or ESN operatives. Soludo, I know you're hearing that. That's what we are saying. Let me read this whole thing in its entirety. The global family and movement of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, ably led by great prophet and liberator Mazi seized the continuous and illegal deployment of soldiers in Ogbaru local government, Anambra State, by the governor, Professor Charles Soludo, as a waste of time and resources. Soludo's interest is to please his Fulani masters with claims of chasing away ESN operatives for political favors. They are there. hey, Gwila, you couldn't have allowed us to create ESN before, but now that they are there, they must do their job. Whether you like it or not, reports have it that Governor Soludo has given order to the military joint forces to invade Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State, especially Umunankwo, Echiuche, Osamala communities. Osamala, that's where I served in the army, was there. The above communities, Nigerian military via invitation by Governor Soludo, thinking he will stop IPOB. Governor Soludo, thinking of Ogbaru community, many schools have been closed and farmers not able to go to their farms. Governor Soludo and his murderous military have sent Ogbaru children out of school. He will also create hunger in Anambra State and Alibo as soldiers are preventing Ogbaru farmers from going to farm as the farming season commences. This is very serious. We are here campaigning for them to eat. IPOB have decided to give out seedlings to those who can go to farm. But Soludo is here trying to send the military. I don't know if we're in the military era. What's wrong with these governors? What is wrong with you guys? You are voted into office. Now the army is the one ruling you. What are you afraid of? Governor Soludo and his terrorist military are threatening to burn down houses in the community if they don't inform them about the activities of IPOB and ESN operatives. Governor Soludo's terrorist military has burnt down many houses already in Ogbaru. We don't know why some of the acclaimed governors of the East are against ESN for protecting Biafra land against Marudin Fulani jihadist headsmen and bandits. All they do is satisfy their Fulani political masters in Abuja with the blood of their brothers and sisters who voted them into office. That's what I'm asking. What's going on? What is going on with these people? You are voted into office. I know what happened before you came in there. When you narrowly escaped somebody killing you. So why are you sending the military to go and invade our homes, invade our children? Stop them from going to school. Stop farmers from farming. Iyke Gukwaro, the acclaimed professor, that's what they call him. Chukwuma, acclaimed Professor Chukwuma Soludo, was among the governors that Ndibo thought would set an example for other governors to follow. That's what I thought too. At least he is so daft and clueless like his predecessors. He hasn't brought any visible development into Anambra State. He was voted into office. All he does is to go about speaking grammar. Thanks for the ingenuity of the Anambra people who are developing Anambra State on an individual basis and as a community, while Governor Charles Soludo goes around commissioning privately funded projects. What exactly is Soludo doing with federal allocations and state internally generated funds? All he does is recruit Agborus as task force and military to be intimidating Anambra residents. For example, the group called the Pillar Youth are touts that Soludo created and equipped to be used mostly for his rigging of his second term. So they're already talking about second term. You never finish the first one, they talk about the second one. These youths are the ones doing odd jobs, such as illegal oil bunkering for Soludo and his boys at Ogbaru oil fields. This group of boys has transformed into militants who kidnap for ransom. Another criminal gang Soludo is using to terrorize people is the Anambra Vigilante Group, AVG. These are criminals recruited and armed to be harassing. They are armed to be harassing, intimidating, and arresting and molesting innocent citizens. AVG conducts illegal arrests, detains their victims, and demands that their relatives bail them while huge sums of money of risk being killed. Some of the criminal elements in this AVG go about extorting people in the name of ESN. The Soludo's notorious AVG has similar characteristics as the murderous Ebube Ago and notorious SARS. Our community is calm today because of the assistance of IPOB and ESN. ESN visits Biafran communities to protect our people from criminals and Fulani bandits. The ESN operatives never have problems with any community in Biafra land. I repeat that again. The ESN operatives never have problems with any community in Biafra land. For Governor Soludo to deploy the murderous Nigerian military in the already calmed Ogbaru community is to provide a cover-up for Fulani jihadist bandits and his illegal oil bunkering activities. Governor Soludo should focus on providing security and development to the Anambra people and stop being Abuja pleaser. He should demilitarize Anambra State of Boko Haram infiltration army. He should also disband or caution his notorious security groups such as AVG and the Pillar Youths. What's that, Pillar Youths? If the Anambra State government refuses to call his notorious security groups to order, IPOB volunteers and ESN operatives will do what is necessary to keep our land and people safe. As an Comrades is signed by Comrade Emma Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for IPOB. It baffles me. You know, the point is that when you have your security that you need is for your people to be secured. Does it matter? ESN is there because it was not created by somebody who will go out and bribe somebody to protect. No. You want to protect your land. So what is the essence? What's wrong with the one that is already there? Why are you creating more security outfits? Because you have no control over ESN. You can't bribe them. They are the army of the people. They are the protector of the people. They are security outfit created for the people and by the people themselves. Volunteers. You know, I remember something that T.Y. Danjuma, General T.Y. Danjuma former, said. He said the most dangerous army in the world are volunteers. Volunteer army. The people that came out, not people who are going to join the army because they're going to earn salary. No. Volunteers, you cannot beat them. No matter what you do to them, they will keep coming because they know what they want. It's the same thing with IPOB. If somebody comes out of IPOB and says, I'm confused, you are not confused. You are not a member of IPOB. If you know why you are into IPOB, you will not be confused. There's nothing to confuse about it. Nothing. I don't see any confusion in. But because you came in with ulterior motive, you have something in mind. You had something in mind before you joined it. You didn't join it for service. You didn't join it to serve. You joined it because you thought there was something to come, something was going to happen, something's going to make you a richer person than you are. Now, when you discover that it wasn't coming, your recognition does not mean anything. You want to, just the way you come, you want to go tomorrow. Nobody's going to stop you. Just go. And let those who want to remain, they will remain. Nobody, they go with anybody because now only me waka come. When you waka come alone, when you go alone. There is no doubt about it. So our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is steadfast. He is our mentor, our leader, our everything. He is the only man that we listen to. And that's the only man why we came in, because we didn't come to IPOB because we're going to make anything out of IPOB. It's a form of money. No, you're going to put your own money now. The money there is your money. You cannot live on somebody's do whatever. So the contribution, the donation, the spirit of this organization will remain no matter what in that zoo called Nigeria. They're doing everything to stop us, and but we can't. Our leader has told you guys our cardinal points, what we are up to, what we need to do. He gave his rundown using IPOB as an example. You have to be able to help your brother, those who cannot help themselves. Don't be afraid in face of your enemy. That's the one I love most. Yes. Because when you call the Satan by his name, they will know that you're not afraid of him. We pretend that there is something called Satan. There is. When you call him by his name, call him, just name him. Tell him, I know you are here. And you will see the result. If something is happening to you and you say, Satan, I know you are here, but you don't have no power over me. That's it. He will know that you recognize, because one thing that he did to the world was that he is there, but he makes the world think that he's not there. They think it's a myth. It's not a myth, though. It's not a myth at all. This is Radio Biafra. Let's take the first clip for today. I like what this. I don't even know who this person is, but maybe I will know later on the program. Let me listen to him.
As the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is such a gross violation of the Trade Descriptions Act. There's nothing federal about Nigeria. It's a unitary government because it is driven entirely by all the powers at the center. Who did that? It was the army. And progressively between 1966 and today, they just kind of moved the powers away from the regions and concentrated everything in the center, because that's how we think. We run a unified chain of command. As a divisional commander, you can't have 3 brigade commanders who are entirely independent doing their own thing. It's just not going to happen. So what we have at the moment is a central holding company called the federal government with 36 subsidiary companies, all of whom are entirely dependent on the holding company.
Yeah, of course. Our leader have said this, so we know this. It's a business. And it is going to remain business until somebody gets up and say enough is enough. But who's going to say it? Not in the way the system runs, not the way Nigeria is. Nobody will be bold enough. When we get, in fact, if we get 2 or 3 Nnamdi Kanus in Nigeria, all this nonsense will stop. But they will not do it. They will not do it because they are afraid. They are afraid. They are afraid. Very, very much afraid. And you have to be very strong to be able to.
It's mind as well, depending on the strength of the argument. So we hope that they'll change their mind. They're using it to do experiment at GSSS. Exactly. So there is no way we're going to allow that to happen. My rights must be respected. It's important. My right to fair hearing must be observed and understand that. They brought him to Kenya into this talk and allowed him to talk with that.
You're talking about your health condition. What exactly is wrong with you, sir?
I have congenital heart failure. Congestive heart failure is called. From the medication, you can tell. So they're basically trying to keep me alive. So that when they calculate that I'm about to give up, that my heart is about to pack up, they will now say go. So when I go outside, I will die outside. That's what I'm trying to do.
The medications they've been giving to you, has it not been working?
It's not working. If it's working, why would I have all these lumps underneath my...
And he has written a petition to the Nigerian Medical Association where they brought one quack doctor, somebody who is not a doctor, to treat him.
To come and try and treat.
But up to now, they have
They don't know what they're doing. And they know they don't know what they're doing. Or else, why would I have this?
As long as it remains in DSS custody, there won't be no trial.
So what is your application before the court? What do you want?
Is seeking for a non-custodial arrangement by the court.
You said house arrest.
Exactly. I don't mind house arrest because I'll defeat them. In this court, I'll defeat the government of Nigeria. Yeah. The whole world will see it. Where is the treasonable felon? Where is it? All these years, journalists are shouting, treasonable, treason. Where's the treason today? He's gone. He's somewhere this terrorism charge will go. I'm thinking of another capital offense that can charge me with. Maybe, I don't know, impregnating the wife of somebody. I don't know what other thing they're going to charge.
Are you saying you are innocent of all these charges?
The federal government, they know I'm not guilty. My only guilt is that I'm fighting for my people. And I will fight for them.
Okay, so last
for justice and fairness and equity everywhere.
Last question. Has your family been able to...
Anybody using IPOB to commit crime is a criminal. It's not part of this family. Our family is based on 4 cardinal points. You must be without fear before your enemies. You must speak the truth always, even if it leads to your death. You must help the poor and those who cannot help themselves, and be of good character that God may love thee. That's who we are.
So what will be your words to those out there in the East who are killing in the name of IPOB?
That they are criminals. They are criminals. They are not part of this family. We are called a family for a reason. We've come to serve our people, not to enslave them. Anybody conducting any type of activity that contravenes the welfare of our people is a criminal and must be dealt with.
Thank you very much, sir.
Any form of violence or subversion in the name of Biafra is not part of this family.
That's very clear. That's absolutely clear. There's no doubt about it. He has made it very clear, and those who are parading themselves and calling them, they are not even strong enough. The people that are parading themselves are being sponsored by the same government. We know that. It's a distraction. They want to do something that will look like they are doing something. No. They are absolutely not doing anything. So when we talk about the issues that concern our leader, we know what we're talking about. They created the monster using the name IPOB. These are people who are non-members of IPOB. They've not registered members. They are nothing. They might say somebody's argument is, okay, every Biafran is an indigenous person. Yes, I know. We know that. We agree with you. But being in the organization, paying your dues, is a group led by Mazi Kanu. He's the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. I never heard him say that he's the leader of Biafra, the indigenous people of Biafra. So if you're parading yourself, stay on the side, don't join, it's okay. Use your name, do whatever you want to do, create your own group and leave IPOB out of it, leave ESN out of it. Because it's not gonna happen. They are not gonna succumb to what you think. From the beginning, when our leader was renditioned, I remember it very clearly. The Punch newspaper published it, that Nnamdi Kanu has a new replacement. And they called somebody whose name is taboo for me. I don't mention that name. It's a slave. It's a Satan. Satan itself, when I tell you that Satan is always present in every organization, every party. You remember Job in the Bible now. And Satan was also present. Because anyway, when you gather, they must come. There must be at least one Satan there. There's no doubt. That has a ulterior motive. And the prophet saw it. He said, you're doing well, but don't let Satan get into you. He prophetic too. Oh yeah. So whatever they are doing, they are the ones that created this. But they are failing. They can see in their eyes that they are failing. So much the person that they are afraid of. Is the one that they are so afraid of. What is wrong with him? Because they look at it like, Nanwoka, if this man from jail is talking, this is the only time he has spoken in how many years? Everybody's shaking, ground shaking. Just talking. He just made it very clear that anybody who goes out there doing anything in the name of IPOB that is unauthorized is an enemy. Nobody authorized anybody to. I remember that the DOS started with sit at home. And our leader quickly said no, put a stop to it. We announced it on this radio. It was advertised that there is no more sit at home. Now the people said no. How are we going to show our protest? And they decided to sit at home and to continue. It wasn't IPOB that made them. The IPOB originated, just our leader wanted to stop it. Say no. It's because under pressure, I personally on this radio when they were lifting it was like, what is this? So how are we going to? But eventually the people decided on their own to keep that rule. They changed the dates. Monday is like a holiday. Everybody sits at home. It has become something, and I don't even know if it will ever go back again. There was one in Enugu that became governor. That was the first thing. I'm going to stop sitting at home. Go to Enugu. It's still happening. You can't subvert the will of the people. If people decide to do something, they will do it. No matter how you try to. All right, I have an interview here that Mazi Alozie, USA 1, interviewed the lawyers at the end of, I think at the end of the case, in the court. So let's listen to it before I proceed.
Thank you. We welcome all of you. Yes. They were our lawyers at Madugoku. We welcome you to this session, and we very much expect information from you, because we Biafrans have been longing to hear our leader's voice, and we did today. And thanks to the services you all are providing, and we are waiting to hear from you. And I'll leave the forum open for you. So take it away. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Do I speak in English or Igbo?
Speak in English. It's okay. Mazi, because I prefer English because I will prefer English because we are addressing Biafrans. So let's take the English.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Iyke. I am one of the lawyers to Mazi and IPOB based here in Abuja. Today, on the 26th of February 2024, we filed a motion, or rather we moved the motion for the bail of Mazi in accordance with the judgment and ruling of the Supreme Court of the 15th of December 2023. We also filed and moved a motion challenging the jurisdiction of the court to continue with the hearing of Mazi case in view of the fact that the facilities provided for us by the State Security Service in Abuja, where Mazi is kept, is heavily bogged with microphones and photographs and cameras, all manner of cameras. So we challenge the jurisdiction of the court to go into hearing because it offends both the Constitution, Section 36, subsection 6, that talks about fair hearing. It also challenges or offends the provision of the Legal Practitioners Act, which gives every single lawyer as well as his client the privilege, the right, the opportunity of free and uninterrupted consultation. So on those basis, we challenged the jurisdiction of the court to go into hearing, because the camera that bugged, with which they bugged Nnamdi Kanu's cell or meeting point, is such that they could listen to our conversation, listen to our strategy, listen to all the arrangements we are making with respect to his matter. And we said, no, that will not be fair on our part. for us to continue to talk with our client while they are listening. And then when they are preparing their own case, that is the Attorney General and his team are preparing their own case, we do not have the same opportunity to listen to their preparations. So we think it offends the right of the client to fair hearing, and on that basis we say the court should transfer Mazi Nnamdi Kanu either to himself in the Kuje prison or any other prison for that matter, or send him to a non-custodial holding. They can, for instance, send him to my house and say, let him be in your house, and then on any date of court you bring him. But unfortunately today, against all expectation and in total disregard to the Supreme Court's judgment of 15th December 2023, the Federal High Court, which is inferior to the Supreme Court, decided on its own to ignore and rubbish the orders of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court made an order to the effect that, or even stated that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail ought not to have been revoked by the Federal High Court. But unfortunately, the Federal High Court, which had the opportunity of amending its way today, failed to utilize that opportunity that was given to him by the Supreme Court. So the Federal High Court refused application for bail and they said order for accelerated hearing. They also refused our application to have Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in a place where we can interact with him peacefully without the listening of the federal government. So the whole thing points to one fact, as far as we are concerned, that somebody somewhere is trying to dictate the happiness in the trial, and unfortunately it appears the court is not helping matters. The court does not seem to understand or appreciate our position, and we find it very, very, very appalling, very, very sad. Now, we tried as much as possible to give the Federal High Court several other options. So, if you cannot keep him in detention at Kuje prison, of course, the court said that that they do not trust the Kuje prison security, that people have escaped from Kuje prison severally. And I told them in court that if people had escaped from Kuje prison, then the federal government should be queried. The federal government is responsible for providing security at the Kuje prison. So what happened to those security the federal government provided? Because remember the last time a lot of Boko Haram and bandits and murderers were allowed to go scot-free, run away from Kuje prison, courtesy of the fact that the federal government security agencies and agents who were supposed to guard the prison failed in their responsibilities and duties. So my law cannot therefore use that as an avenue, as a punishment for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We have stated it down with that number that the DSS is not a place where people can be detained. The DSS does not have the law. There is no law giving DSS the power to detain anybody. So we are going to challenge that the rulings of the Federal High Court denying bail and then ordering his continued detention in the DSS. We are going to challenge it at the Court of Appeal. The DSS does not have any power, any rights, any constitutional or legal responsibility to detain people in their cells. So if they have been using that facility to detain people in their cells, then it is obviously wrong. So we are, God willing, by tomorrow we're filing those documents to show them that we are eager. They want to re-enroll Nnamdi Kanu into a trial where he has not consulted with his lawyers. These are the things we find very offensive and very insulting. As far as we are concerned, it was like they told us we can do nothing. And we want to tell them that the law, even though they have been thwarting the law, even though they've been turning the law upside down because of the interest of the federal government, and so unfortunately for the Nigerian judiciary, because of Nnamdi Kanu, so many things in our law have been turned upside down. For instance, the issue of rendition. When you extraordinary rendition somebody into a country, in all the Commonwealth countries, with the exception of none, no judge will touch a case of an extraordinarily rendition person. But unfortunately, Nigerian government and Nigerian Supreme Court have ruled that yes, you can go on with the case, but the man who is extraordinary rendition can go and claim damages in a civil matter, and that is so unfortunate because it shows a disrespect and disregard to international treaties and conventions. Okay, so that's the situation for today. It's a sad day. We thought that Justice Iyke of the Federal High Court number 3, Abuja, will use the opportunity given to it by the Supreme Court to amend and give the Southeast some peace. But sadly enough, that golden opportunity was lost today by the ruling of His Lordship Justice Iyke. We found it very sad, we found it very unpalatable, and we have decided that we are going to challenge it vehemently and vigorously at the Court of Appeal. So that is the situation for today. That's how we went today. Nobody is happy. The lawyers are all sad. Everybody is sad. Because we believed that with the Supreme Court judgment, Nnamdi Kanu ought to have been out today, unfailingly. But we are all disappointed. We are all disappointed. This is a country that does not respect its law and does not respect the hierarchy of its courts. The Supreme Court will give a decision, and the Federal High Court that is inferior to it will decide to do otherwise. It's so sad. So let us take it back to the Court of Appeal and maybe to the Supreme Court and see what they will have to say about it. If they will condone such judicial rascality, we will know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have questions for you, but I'd like your colleague to finish. Then I'll ask you some questions that will clarify certain things to our people. So I will give audience to your other colleagues. So go ahead.
Well, my other colleagues are not here with me now. Okay. We just disembarked from a meeting we held shortly after the ruling.
Okay. Please, can you tell us about this automated hearing? What are they actually trying to hear? What are they trying to say about, they say, automated hearing?
Accelerated hearing.
What exactly do they want from our
accelerated hearing?
Accelerated, yeah.
Yeah, it's accelerated hearing.
Yes.
Accelerated hearing. In other words, if we had allowed them, they would have brought in a witness today, they would have brought in a witness tomorrow, and possibly they would have given us maybe next week again to bring in whatever other witnesses they have. So they would have brought in a couple of witnesses as fast as they could. It gives once an accelerated hearing is granted, you have the opportunity of calling your witnesses every day. That is the meaning of accelerated hearing. You accelerate, you fasten the hearing.
Yeah, but the hearing has to
and
what?
They want to do it because they know that we have. They want to do it because they know that we have not had the opportunity of conferencing with Nnamdi Kanu in the privacy of our chambers or in the privacy of his home or in a place where they cannot listen to our conversations. They know we've not had that opportunity, so they want to re-enroll us. They want to rush us into a hearing, and then at the end of the day, they will say, "Okay, we find him guilty of 1 or 2 count charge," and then they sentence him to prison or even to death, as the case may be.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get to. Why are they talking about hearing when all the charges have been squashed and they ask for dismissal? Where are they coming up with these charges? Where are they coming up with these charges?
Now, at the Court of Appeal, the charges were struck out on the basis of his extraordinary rendition into Nigeria from Kenya. Now, we now challenge it, they now challenge it, the federal government now challenge it at the Supreme Court, that the Court of Appeal ought not to have quashed those charges. And then at the Supreme Court rests. Answer to those charges, to which we have said we also believe in the Court of Appeal judgment. We believe that the Supreme Court made a couple of mistakes in their judgment, but unfortunately, that is the last court in Nigeria. You cannot appeal to any other court after the Supreme Court. they made a lot of mistakes because in the course of their deliberation and their giving judgment, they did not avert their mind to Section 15 of the Extradition Act of Nigeria, which says that you cannot bring somebody into Nigeria unless the country where you are bringing him from has surrendered him to you. Unless that country has surrendered him to you, you cannot bring him into Nigeria. And Kenya has the post affidavit that they have not surrendered Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria, that they did not know that Nnamdi Kanu left Kenya for Nigeria. So they are surprised that Nnamdi Kanu appeared in Nigeria without passing through immigration process. And there's the post affidavit that as far as they are concerned, Nnamdi Kanu is still in Kenya.
Okay.
So that's the reason. So they are trying to rush us into a hearing so that they can quickly convict Nnamdi Kanu without justification. And we are saying no to that.
Yes, that is a very good explanation because it will lead me to the next one I'm asking. What is holding our lawyers or barristers from suing Nigeria to the international court where the crime was committed? Why are we wasting time doing that so that anything Nigeria is trying to do will be unacceptable? Why are we not doing that?
Well, in Nigeria here, the lawyers here in Nigeria, we do not have the license to practice abroad. The international court is handled by other foreign components of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. We have the Bingemans, we have Bruce Fein and the others. And I must remind us that Bruce Fein of the United States of America had sued or brought a complaint against the Nigerian government before the United Nations. And the United Nations had given an opinion, or in other words, have given a ruling. And in the ruling, they have found Nigeria guilty of 16 count charges of violation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's human rights and so many other things. Now, with that judgment, we presented it to the Nigerian government and to the Federal High Court. We believed that they would have respected and obeyed that judgment. But unfortunately, Nigeria is a country that does not obey laws and order. They do not obey treaties and protocols. So they kept it or swept it aside. We also have a similar judgment from the African Union, which also points was to or is to the effect that Nigerian government has no case against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That self-determination is not a crime. That Nnamdi Kanu has not done anything wrong to warrant a charge against him, and that they should compensate him and apologize to him. These are the judgments of the African Union as well as the United Nations. But Nigeria is a stubborn nation, like Pharaoh of Egypt. Its ears are closed. They do not want to listen to reason or to law. They have a script already written which they are following. So as far as they are concerned, the only thing that can satisfy them is to have Nnamdi Kanu convicted. That is their satisfaction. Even if it means just send him to prison for one day, they are satisfied. So they are not following laws, they are not following procedures. Now, Mr. Bruce Fein recently, I don't know, I'm sure maybe you've not seen it, he has already again, as of Friday, written again to the United Nations to compel the Nigerian government to obey the orders of the United Nations Working Committee. That information or that appeal has been sent to the United Nations. Maybe after now, I'll make it available to Mr. Madubu for publication. We expect all Biafrans, wherever we are, to publish that the letter of Bruce Fein to the United Nations, because Nigeria has consistently breached or disrespected the orders of the United Nations and those of the Commonwealth. And for those disrespect, there must be penalties. So our lawyers, our international components, the person of Mr. Bruce Fein, who used to be an Attorney General of the United States of America under Ronald Reagan, has already taken position and has already done some jobs on that. So we are hoping that one, God willing, will also have its own effect. then we are from now henceforth going to send some other similar petitions both to the African Union and to other international organizations that are assisting, because there is need for them to know about the breaches of our constitution and about the breaches of other laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by the Nigerian government authorities and the courts. So we have gotten judgments in Abuja, in Omahia severally, in Enugu severally on this matter. So we do not know, and these are courts, high courts. They are not the courts of ordinary jurisdiction. These are high courts, the same rank, the same standing with the Federal High Court in Abuja. We won them in all those courts. Those courts have declared that self-determination is not a crime. They have declared that IPOB is not an illegal organization. So why are they punishing people in the name of IPOB being an illegal organization or a proscribed organization? Why are they doing that? Why are they trying to use this particular court or Justice Netanyahu to punish people unnecessarily? So that is the question that requires an answer.
Yes, let me take a follow-up on your explanation. What right does the Abuja High Court, what right do they have to violate international law? Does leader Mazi and the barristers do they have right to say our client will not appear on any illegal trial? Do they have the right to do that?
Well, if I get you correctly, what right does the Federal High Court in Nigeria have to violate international orders and court? They do not have any such rights.
Okay.
Because Nigeria is a signatory to international treaties and conventions. If you sign with the United Nations that this is our agreement, every arm of government should comply and obey that agreement, including the courts. But like I told you before, Nigeria is a stubborn country that does not believe in rule of law. They do not believe in respect of law and order. And they don't even respect their own constitution. They do not also respect their own laws, like the Terrorism Prevention Act, which they made as a law. They have failed to respect it, and there has been no consequences. And unfortunately, our courts will make an order; they will not even obey it. Our courts will make order; they will not obey it. The court of Binti Nyago, as of today, according to her, has made about 21 orders. Those 21 orders have not been obeyed. And yet, we call that a trial.
Then why do we bring an innocent person to that court? Why don't we say we cannot produce our leader in an illegal court system that will put his life in jeopardy? And then why can't we, as Biafrans, actually say, no, we have been shouting no to the trial because it is illegal? Why can't we say no for further trial? I mean, the lawyers or the barristers, as they applied in the zoo, why can't they say our client is innocent, no more trial? Why can't we enforce that to them?
Unfortunately, the Nigerian judiciary and the Nigerian legal system does not give us room for such. If, for instance, you say, no, your client cannot longer stand trial, what they will do is they will try him in absentia, as when he refuses to come to court. They will try him in absentia. They will find him guilty. They will sentence him to prison, and then they will give an order for his arrest anywhere he is seen. And once they see him, they will arrest him and take him straight to prison without any hearing anymore. So the Nigerian administration, the Nigerian judiciary, the Nigerian government, and the Nigerian law does not give us that kind of leverage or opportunity. And then if you say as lawyers that we will not participate in the trial and we walk out, fine and good, what they will do is they can appoint for him lawyers from the Legal Aid Council. The Legal Aid Council lawyers, who are also government-employed lawyers, are paid by government, will represent Nnamdi Kanu. And under that circumstance, you do not have the guarantee that those lawyers will work hard. They may decide to use those lawyers as a cover-up and then do what they want to do. Because he who pays the salary, the things they do. The federal government pays the lawyers of the legal aid council, so they can also dictate to the lawyers what to do and what not to do. So there is need for us to continue fighting. We cannot surrender to them lightly. We must challenge their action. We must continue to push. I've given you two reasons. If we say we will not attend as lawyers because we are protesting, they will tell us, okay, go on and protest. They will invite legal aid council, and some of them may be the original Zoom men who would then take over the case as lawyers to Nnamdi Kanu and continue. And then Nnamdi can say, look, I will not go to court. They will say, okay, if he doesn't want to come to court, let him remain where he is. They will try him in absentia. They will find him guilty in absentia. Then they will order for his arrest and take him to prison. So it is a precarious situation we find ourselves.
Okay, then now a similar thing to this. The reason I'm asking you these questions is to let our people know that we covered all the bases. You see, because I don't want people bringing in rumors and you did this or you didn't do this. Now, you have Sunday Igboho, you have Sowore, and you have Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why is that of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has been cleared of all charges, so being tarnished in their flesh? Why? And they are talking about one Nigeria. And this question I ask you, after answering it, I will get you to another question that will cast shadow as to what and with people we are dealing with. Can you please explain to us why?
Well, thank you very much. It is the same question we raised today in court. Why is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu different from Sunday Igboho? Why is he different from Sowore? But the court didn't answer it. But in our mind, we know that Nnamdi Kanu is different from these people because, first of all, he is an Igbo man. He is not any other tribe. He is an Igbo man. And you know how these people love the Igbo people. That is one. Then secondly, they are treating Nnamdi Kanu the way they are treating Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has a better organized structure, a better organized fighting mechanism. Nnamdi Kanu has gone international to the extent that he is the only one these people fear as far as Nigeria is concerned. That is why they took his own more serious than any other person's own. In fact, if you bring 10 on Sunday Igboho here, they may not even talk, they may not say anything. Because they know he's doing his own, locally. But people like Nnamdi Kanu has gone international. Almost various countries know about IPOB and their struggle. Various governments know about IPOB and their struggle. International bodies like the United Nations knows about IPOB and their struggle. So they see Nnamdi Kanu as a more potent danger than all these other persons you have mentioned. If you imagine Nnamdi Kanu stands, Sunday Igboho stands, Sowore stands, and you see people rally around your person, you see that Nnamdi Kanu will have a larger crowd than all the others. Nnamdi Kanu has given them all these people, he has an edge over all of them. His shoe is bigger than the others. So they see him as a more deadly person, as somebody who should be feared, as somebody who is more target-oriented, who is focused, and who has the capacity to achieve what he wants to achieve. That is why they are treating his case more seriously than any other. Thank you.
Yes, the federal government, or is the federal government, there's a reason I say the federal government, you will see why I said but let me go back and say, is the federal government the government of the people, or are there foreign hands that are playing the game of government in Nigeria, which has no structure or anything? Because if we follow the past activities of those in Aso Rock, how they come and disappear, and then you mentioned about the African Union and the Commonwealth, which supposedly Nigeria belongs. Why is Britain sitting and watching what is happening to their own citizen that was...
People have sacrificed my parents for them. Why would I want to kill any other person after that? Anybody who's committing crime. People have sacrificed my parents for them.
That tape just skipped. Let's see if I can go back to it because I want to finish I want to make sure that it gets to the end, because it's a very important question that he's asking, and we need answers. Let me see if I can actually see it again, because it just skipped and I can't even locate it, but I'll try. I'll try to locate it. Let me see. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. Stay tuned, don't go away. Okay, now I found it.
Rendition without respect. Why is Britain, which I believe they are the invisible hand, the world powers, the invisible hand that are thwarting the freedom of Biafrans? Why is Britain not acting? Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Britain is complicit in these allegations, in this Nnamdi Kanu issue, because of the economic benefits they are getting from Nigeria. As far as the British government is concerned, if they do not support the Federal Republic of Nigeria, they may not be allowed to take our oil the way they have been taking the oil. You know, they've been taking Nigeria's oil without accountability. So they believe that if they now decide to challenge the Nigerian government on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the British government is going to lose economically. And you know, the High Court in Britain has given a judgment to that effect also, that they cannot, because of one person, jeopardize the economic interests of Britain. They gave it a judgment in Nnamdi Kanu's case in London. So that is why people, you know, strongly believe that the hand of Britain is in this case. They are the ones encouraging and aiding Nigeria to do evil against international treaties, against conventions, against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The British government is responsible. They are fully responsible. They are the ones who didn't Nnamdi Kanu. Because if they had started agitating, why is our citizen being unjustly treated? Nigerian government would have said, okay, come and take your citizen. But they have mortgaged their conscience. You know, when you eat a pot of porridge and sell your birthright, just like Esau and Jacob, that is what the British government have done. They have mortgaged their conscience, they have mortgaged their birthright, their citizen, for a pot of oil in the Niger Delta region that they have been digging and enjoying the proceeds without justification. So that's the thing. So the oil they've been taking from, and see, that is the reason why they will not want Biafra, because they know that the average Biafra man is intelligent enough and accountable enough to check every oil that you are taking. But the way it is now, the federal government of Nigeria does not even know how many oil is being drained and exported out of this country. So the federal government gives them the loophole to drain and take our oil free of charge. But if a Biafran man and if a Biafran nation is built, is capped that fully, we are going to check our oil. Make sure if you're taking 1 barrel of oil, it is 1 barrel of oil, and you'll be paying 1 barrel. You'll be paying for that 1 barrel of oil. They know this is what will happen, so they want to make sure that it doesn't happen. Just the way France has been stealing from Niger. When they take their mineral resources, they tell Niger, look, this is how much I'm going to pay. Now Nigerian people have woken up and said, no, you have been stealing from us. You can no longer continue to take our resources. If you are going to take our resources, you are going to pay the actual market value. That is why Niger kicked out France from their nation. So they know that if a Biafran nation is built, that Biafrans are going to make sure that if you are going to take oil, you are going to pay exact price, and you are going to pay for the oil, whatever oil you take. You can no longer steal oil the way you've been stealing under the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is why British government is hell-bent on making sure that Nnamdi Kanu's case does not see the light of day. They want him to remain in detention. They want him to be convicted so that the issue of Biafra struggle will die. And once it is dead, then they can continue to take oil indiscriminately without protection, without accountability. So that's the situation, and it's so unfortunate that even the judiciary has said it, that we cannot mortgage the British interest for one single person.
That is wishful thinking. That brings me to this question. You're not I don't know if you're a constitutional barrister or you know anything that you know much of, because
Yes, I am.
okay. Nigeria expired 2014.
Yes.
Nigeria expired 2014. And there is a clause for referendum. If Nigeria expired 2014, under what principle are we still being held together instead of going for referendum?
You know, the federal government of Nigeria believes and knows that if you remove Biafra from the map of Nigeria, they are going to have a nation that they cannot handle, because it is Nigeria that provides virtually everything with which this nation is run. We provide the mineral resources, the Biafra. They know that the Biafra government, the Biafra nation is the nation or the set of people that provides everything with which the Nigerian government is run. So they know if you remove Biafra from Nigeria, they will not have the resources to continue to run Nigeria. How many of them pay taxes? How many of them pay import duties? How many of them pay VAT? These are the resources they get from Biafra nation. And it is with those resources that they themselves work. It is with these resources that they pay their local governments. There are some states in the north, in Nigeria, that cannot even buy pure water monthly for their civil servant, not to paying salary. They wait for federal allocations, and the federal allocation is coming from the Biafra land. There are some states that cannot on their own sustain itself. They are waiting for what to be shared in federal allocation. The money from tax, the money from VAT, the money from oil, the money from mineral resources. They have gold in Zamfara. Is the federal government digging the gold? No. Those digging the gold are individuals stealing from them. But the oil in Biafra land is being done by the federal government. It's sold by the federal government, and the taxes are collected by the federal government. You know, the VAT is collected by the federal government. Yeah, so what we expect them to do is, if, for instance, the federal government removes Nigeria from Biafra now, then how would they sustain their economy? They hardly work. They don't produce. They are lazy. They rely on Biafrans to feed, to drink water. They rely on Biafra. And you know, most of these people, they believe in free money, dash me money. You know, that is why if you go to the gate of the big man, you will see more than 100 people lined up waiting for him to wake up and dash them money. You can't see that in Biafra land. Everybody is proud. We are proud people. I cannot wake up and go to my neighbor because he's a millionaire. Rather, I will work hard to make sure that he doesn't feed me, so that when he talks, I can also talk. But in the north, you see them that are okay.
All right, thank you very much. Let's stop it there and take some calls before we go. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. The lines are open for you. You can make your calls at 8. Based on what you've heard this morning, the 845-907-2230, 845-907-2230, and we have 845-637-6632, 845-648-0031. This is Radio Biafra. Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you. So make your calls when you're ready.
The indigenous people of Biafra is Iyke, Mazi one cannot be two. Starlight Production, show face on the microphone. Shalom Israel. Shalom Muchineke. We are getting there. It's a matter of time. Shalom. You know me say I go say my right for you, Nigeria. You know me say I don't know myself again. Yeah. The love I have for Biafra has taken over my heart. It's burning like fire. Biafra is my heart desire. I want her like Messiah. Nnamdi Kanu is Messiah. My love, I'm ready to do anything for you, my love. I'm ready to do everything for you, my love. I will make you my canton. I will make you my cashier. Just be patient, my love. Be patient, my love. Be patient, my dear. Be patient, never relent. Just remain resolute. Biafra, they come. I want to go full. I go package for you. Go manage again. Be patient, my love. Biafra is the hope. Be patient, never relent. Biafra is the hope. Biafra, they come. I want to go full. I go package forever. Go manage again. Awesome. A lot of people could not pay their house rent again in Nigeria. Awesome. A lot of people could not feed their children again in Nigeria. Awesome. A lot of people could not fuel their cars again. A lot of people could not eat food again. For this Buhari government, prosperity in Nigeria is not genuine. That's the reason why the masses are suffering. More they are dying, more politicians are going higher. Prosperity in Nigeria is all about evil. Homo Biafra, Homo Chukwu Wabiama. We are entitled to fight this evil. Let's come together and support our supreme leader and crumble this evil. Go Nigeria. Be patient, my love. Be patient, never relent. Biafra, they come. I want to go full. I go package for you. You know, go manage again. Be patient, my love. Sick Biafra of Biafra. Be patient, never relent. Sick kingdom of Biafra. Sick kingdom of Biafra. Sick kingdom of Biafra. Go manage again. Be patient, my love. Be patient, never relent. Biafra, I want to go far. I go package for you. Go manage again. Be patient, my love. Biafra, be patient, never relent. No matter how I'm for this party, I must want to go full. We go package forever. Go manage again.
All right.
I know Anambra State very well. There are things that happen.
Don't bring Victor. One mother. Anya people. Biafra dey again. No. Obia. Iyke. Freedom. Na udo ka ị na-arịọ. Anyị achọghị ihe mkpọtụ ọbara n'elu. Anyị bụ ndị Biafra bụ ndị ji udo na-aga. Maka ịlụ ọma ka ejula ji aga n'ihu. Ọ ga-adịkwara anyị na mma. Ụmụ Biafra bịakene. Biafra anatago. Igbo nwe mmadụ nọ. Igbo nwe mmadụ anatago. Ụmụ Biafra dị. Biafra anatago. Eji megwu mekene Chifụ Nnamdi Kanu Odogwu ga-adịrị mma onye eze na ọdịgoro gị mma ọkwa ndị soro gili n'ụwa akọrọ gị ogili lata ọkwa osisi bụrụ tolo.
I know Enugu State very well. I know Anambra State very well. So there are things that happen in those areas that you will weep tears. I've been a victim many times. Many young people are shot dead, and they are automatically labeled to be members of unknown gunmen or members of IPOB, and nobody will do a forensics. Now, yesterday, some days ago, a so-called IPOB camp
in Eziowele, or sorry, thereabout, was raided, and I saw men on uniform going there, and I saw somebody taking a video, and he was speaking vernacular. Why are they burning that place? Why would you go to a site of a so-called IPOP hideout and all you do is burn? While I was in the service, we would go on our knees and on our hands. We go to the floor and pick every cigarette butt there, every butt of Indian hair, every used sachet water. We pick this so we can now be able to lift fingerprints off them. So we can now go to the cells, those that were arrested in the cells, or those who are arrested in the future, can be able to match their fingerprints to start get a picture of who is there or who wasn't there. Now, those that were shot dead, all they confirm, these are criminals, these are terrorists, these are IPOP, these are unknown gunmen. But nobody does a forensic to leave their fingerprint, put them on the BVN database, put them on a bad policing job, isn't it? Put them on telephone database to find out who are these people, so we can actually know their background, know their link, know their association, know their colleagues, so we can be able to attack the roots. But all they do, kill them, put them in a police truck, take their pictures and bury them. That is bad. And you can't say it's a bad policing job. It's a bad national security job, because most people that killed up may not be police. It could be civil defense, it could be vigilante, it could be the military. So you cannot say it's only police job.
When I heard this kind of thing, I'm looking at, thinking about the Soludos.
Who is the artist that was flogged that day? Because
I'm thinking about the Soludos, because this is a man who is sending military men to Obaru to destroy our people, to kill us, because they want to give us a bad name. They know very well that we are not the ones, we are not what they're claiming that we are. But you know something, in the end, you can defend the Fulani all you want, but about also asina na kedote sekwe na wadi man na nage nkata the man or whatever to call the man and nage. When you finish what you are doing, don't forget that these same people you are sending to go and kill, they are the ones that voted you in. And after all said and done, unless you go and live in Fulani land, because the Fulanis are very intelligent, they know very well that if you are against your brother, then you are a snitch. And that snitch, even something that even in prison, jail people, they hate snitchers. You know, if you are somebody who is a snitch, in other words, you cannot be trusted. That's what they're telling you. You can't be trusted, and you can go do what you like, go there, lie for the Fulanis because you want them to like you. I don't really know what your problems are, to be honest. You're already in office. If you're doing something for campaign, you make promises. Sometimes people break their promises. If I become the governor, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No, but when you become the governor, the moment you say you handle that thing, don't forget that the Fulanis did not come and vote you into office. All you need to do is make sure that you work for your people. But no, it's different. They're creating all these vigilante groups. The one they call YouTube whatever, Ibubago and the rest of them. ESN was already there in place. What is the point creating a new one? In fact, I spoke to my people. There was a time when they were donating money to support ESN. The organization where I belong say, we are creating our own security. Why do you want to create yours? Why? Get money to support the one that's very. If you think they are not properly organized, organize them. Don't go out there and start recruiting people, because at the moment you announce that you're going to have recruitment, they all show up. These are both the criminals and those who are looking for food to eat. ESN was created by volunteers. These are people who want to protect their people. So do whatever you want to do, Soludo. Keep on doing it, because this aim, this agitation, this young man that is talking made a very great point. You have people who are not trained. ESN was trained, they know what they're looking for. They say go into the bushes. Anybody who stays in the bush, because we want to create it. Ago Kanabia. You would eventually realize that ESN is a savior. It's something that ingenuity, something that our leader came up with and eventually have them. So if you think you can go and fight them and creating your own organizations, go ahead. It will never happen.
If you ask me, I know Enugu State very well. I know Anambra State very well. So there are things that happen in those areas that you will weep tears. I've been a victim many times. Many young people are shot dead, and they are automatically labeled to be members of unknown gunmen or members of IPOB, and nobody will do a forensics. Now, yesterday, some days ago, a so-called IPOB camp in Eziowele, or sorry, thereabout, was raided, and I saw men on uniform going there, and I saw somebody taking a video, and he was telling, he was speaking vernacular. Why are they burning that place? Why would you go to a site of a so-called IPOB hideout and all you do is burn? While I was in the service, we will go on our knees and on our hands. We go to the floor and pick every cigarette butt there, every butt of Indian hair, every used sachet water. We pick them so we can now be able to lift fingerprints off them. So we can now go to the cells, those that were arrested in the cells, or those who are arrested in the future, we can be able to match their fingerprints to start get a picture of who is there or who wasn't there. Now, those that were shot dead, all they confirm, these are criminals, these are terrorists, these are IPOB, these are unknown gunmen. But nobody does a forensic to leave their fingerprint, put them on the BVN database, put them on the...
A bad policing job, isn't it?
Put them on telephone database to find out who are these people, so we can actually know their background, know their link, know their association, know their colleagues, so we can be able to attack the route. But all they do, kill them, put them in a police truck, take their pictures and bury them. That is bad. And you can't say it's a bad policing job. It's a bad national security job, because most people that kill them may not be police. It could be civil defense, it could be vigilante, it could be the military. So you cannot say it's only police job.
See, like I said before, we are keeping records of all this, and we keep on spreading them out. If you want to watch, if you want to listen. If you don't want to listen, do what you want to do. But the truth is, what we know is that Biafra agitation will never go. It's never going to end. It's a no-ending situation. And whether you like it or not, whether you want it or you don't want it, we know very well that our Biafra is going to be here with us sooner or later, no matter what they do. The federal government, look at them struggling with their courts. The court says something and they disobey it. No, they think that the world is not watching them. They think that investors will bring their money into this country that is lawless. That must be a stupid investor, though. The effect is there. They know, they're watching. A country where you cannot get justice, why would anybody want to come and invest his money in this place? It's not going to happen. They will never, ever, ever, ever happen. And we know that until they give us Biafra, nothing is going to work out. They'll keep on going in the same dilemma that they've been always with. And
it's mind as well, depending on the strength of the argument. So we hope that they'll change their mind.
They're using it to do experiment at SSS.
Exactly. So there is no way we're going to allow that to happen.
My rights must be respected.
It's important.
My right to fair hearing must be observed and
understand that.
They brought him to Kenya into this talk and allow him to talk with that.
You're talking about your health condition. What exactly is wrong with you, sir, health-wise?
I have congenital heart failure. Congestive heart failure is called. From the medication, you can tell. So they're basically trying to keep me alive. So that when they calculate that I'm about to give up, that my heart is about to pack up, they will now say go. So when I go outside, I will die outside. That's what they're trying to do.
The medications they've been giving to you, has it not been working?
It's not working. If it's working, why would I have all these lumps underneath my... And he has written a petition to the Nigerian Medical Association, where they brought one quack doctor, somebody who is not a doctor, to treat him.
To come and try and treat.
But up to now, they have no...
They don't know what they're doing. And they know they don't know what they're doing. Or else, why would I have this?
As long as it remains in DSS custody, there will be no trial.
So what is your application before the court? What do you want?
Is seeking for a non-custodial arrangement by the court.
You said house arrest.
Exactly. I don't mind house arrest because I'll defeat them. In this court, I'll defeat the government of Nigeria. Yeah. The whole world will see it. Where is the treasonable felon? Where is it? All these years, John is chanting treasonable treason. What is treason today? He's gone.
In some way, this terrorism charge will go. I'm thinking of another capital offense they can charge me with. Maybe, I don't know, impregnating the wife of somebody. I don't know what other thing they can charge.
Are you saying you are innocent of all these charges?
Yes. The federal government, they know I'm not guilty. My only guilt is that I'm fighting for my people. And I will fight for them.
Okay, so last
for justice and fairness and equity everywhere.
Last question. Has your family been able to...
Anybody using IPOB to commit crime is a criminal. It's not part of this family. Our family is based on 4 cardinal points. You must be without fear before your enemies. You must speak the truth always, even if it leads to your death. You must help the poor and those who cannot help themselves, and be of good character that God may love thee. That's who we are.
So what will be your words to those out there in the East who are killing in the name of IPOB?
That they are criminals. They are criminals. They are not part of this family. We are called a family for a reason. We've come to serve our people, not to enslave them. Anybody conducting any type of activity that contravenes the welfare of our people is a criminal and must be dealt with.
Thank you very much, sir.
Any form of violence or subversion in the name of Biafra is not part of this family. Our family is noble. It's called IPOB. It's all over the world.
So you condemn anything that has to do with killing?
In total, why would I kill violence?
Yes, it's very clear. This has been. It's not that he started saying this today. This is the principles under which we took an oath, and we know exactly the effect. So when I talk to, there are people out there when they say IPOB, I say, listen, we are under oath. There are things that we cannot do unless we're not taking our oath seriously. There are some hoodlums, and they say, hey, but you started it, so you have lost control. Lost control of what? Lost control of what? The people outside that are doing this stuff are not members of IPOB, and we have no control over what they do. To be honest with you. If there were people that were with us, working with us, if we're in the same space, then we can talk about it. We can control it. We can open up and say what you are doing is wrong. But we don't have the power to tell them that they are not members. If they are a member of IPOB, of course we can call them to order. But we don't have the power to do that because they are not one of us. They are not part of us. They are just criminals, like our leader just said, doing what they are doing their own thing. The problem is that we do not have anything to do with them, so we cannot really control them. They are hoodlums. There are people who came up to reap for them. What have they really achieved since they've done all that? Look at it. As soon as you know it, they go out, they're forming governments already. Without getting the mat, without getting the bed. If this is their target. But they are not going to achieve anything. They're wasting their time. Our leader, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, is Mazi Kano. There are no two ways about it. Absolutely no two ways about it, and that's the way it is. It will remain that way. Anytime our leader comes out, whatever he says, we are following him to the grave. It does not really matter. But what we are saying, telling them, is that they should make sure that nothing happens to this man, that he comes out fully and wholly. We are waiting. If they think that we're going to give up because our leader is not here, no, we are not going to give up. Definitely not. We are not going to give up. We follow it to the end diligently till one day, monkey go marketing, go do it, go come back. So that day is very, very soon, and who knows? We are here. We are struggling with it, and I have an article that this guy wrote. I think I need to read this. This is an old one, a new one. I'm sorry. There's something that Haji is somebody I like. He's a philosopher. He's a very good guy, and he knows how to write, and he writes very intelligent articles. I need to read something that I think I saw yesterday that he wrote, and we need to listen to people like that. Philosopher, he is extraordinarily intelligent guy. You know, when he writes things, and he writes very, 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 very well. Let's see if I can find that article, because it's something that I thought I was going to read this morning. But meanwhile, let's take this one what our leader said and about us.
Our family is based on 4 cardinal points. You must be without fear before your enemies. You must speak the truth always, even if it leads to your death. You must help the poor and those who cannot help themselves, and be of good character that God may love thee. That's who we are.
So what will be your words to those?
Our family is based on 4 cardinal points. You must be without fear before your enemies. You must speak the truth always, even if it leads to your death. You must help the poor and those who cannot help themselves, and be of good character that God may love thee.
This is a mantra. This is the mantra, and we want all Biafrans to always have this in mind, the back of their mind, because our leader has broken it down for us, and we know that when he says something, there is no doubt about it that he is the one, is our Oga, and he knows better. As Nnamdi Kanu first talking to us after many years, it looks like forever, I'm telling you the truth. But you know something, we are here. Chukwu Okike Abiyama is in control, and I keep telling people, no matter what you think, no matter what we do, the person that is in control is Chukwu Okike Abiyama. He is the one in charge of this whole thing that we are doing, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop us. We are brought vehemently and unequivocally, we are not going to stop, we're not going to relent. Our leader is willing to give him the bail. He's not going to go anywhere. He's going to stay there and make sure that, because he's very confident that he's going to win you guys in your court. You know, Nigeria is confused. What they want to do is then in the end they'll put him in jail, and then they'll say, oh, he has been sentenced. And they're really realizing that there's nothing any of us will do about it, because that's what they are clearing for. And then when they talk about the lawyers, he says team. They say, oh, the dismissing his team was the mistake. Nobody dismissed anyone. They didn't dismiss him. The point is that they have finished their job. Their job is complete. There's nothing anybody can add them to add or to subtract. And they got an A+ in their job. Ozakome and the G4, they did extremely, very, they did excellently well. It is not something that we see all the time, because they know exactly what they did, and we know what they did. So our leader is just held incommunicado because they are criminals. The country that doesn't obey its own laws, they make laws that don't mean anything to them, because they don't know how to obey the laws they make. They just go to other countries, pick up whatever laws that those countries have made, and then make it copy it, cut and paste. They cut it and they paste it, and then they think that we are foolish people. We are not. We know that all the cut and paste that they are doing, they're just cutting and pasting. They not have any idea of how to uphold those laws. So it's not a country; it's a business place that some people got together, and a big, like somebody just described as a big company with subsidiary companies like the governors and the states or whatever they are. They are not doing anything for their people. They are not doing what they are doing for their people. They are thinking about themselves alone, and we know that. So anybody relying on Nigeria, somebody says he's going to bring people, families, and running into. The families have to understand that Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of 70 million people, not just his family. Unfortunately, somebody has to be born somewhere. If it was possible for somebody to just resonate and just come out from nowhere and doesn't have a family that will try to make money out of what is going on, because that's exactly what it is. They are not following him because they love him. They're following him because there's something to be made out of it. You know, they want to see a way that somebody will struggle and do something, and in the end, some people will come out and want to take glory for what somebody else is doing. But that's not even the issue. The point is that if you can bring us Biafra, if you think Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has told us severally, that if you think that you cannot, that he's not doing it well, please come out and take control and do the same thing. The important thing is getting us Biafra. That's what we're talking about. Ojukwu started the whole thing, and he passed on. Now it's Nnamdi Kanu that is doing it. So if people think that it must be what he said, no, if you come out with greater idea, trust me, you will not, no, you will get the support. But just use your name. Don't use his name. Don't come out with his name, because that's what we are saying is that you cannot eat your cake and have it. If you come out, Nnamdi Kanu, first of all, when he came out, he told us that he joined the MASOP, and then at the MASOP he discovered that no, this is not what I want. Then he opted out and created what he called the indigenous people of Biafra, and that stuck. They tried to kill him, they tried to get rid of him, but no, he kept on doing what he's doing. Today he's fighting. Government is trying everything in their power to get rid of him. But you know something, in the end, Biafra is going to be on our side. Let me take a very short break and I'll be right back. Stay tuned, don't go away.
Here, and you have access to the internet, right here. I will just invite you, please go online straight away and go to wikipedia.org, Wikipedia, and type into the search engine Abuja Declaration 1989, and this information will come up. Islam in Africa held a conference in Abuja in 1989. At the end of it, they issued a declaration, and it goes to eradicate in all its forms and ramifications all non-Muslim religions in member nations. Such religions shall include Christianity. Now please note that word, to eradicate in all its forms and ramifications. Now Nigeria is a member nation. All non-Muslim religions, such religions shall include Christianity. The word Christianity in the communique was underlined. To ensure only Muslims are elected to all political posts of member nations, to ensure the appointment of only Muslims into strategic national and international posts of member nations, to ensure the ultimate replacement of all Western forms of legal and judicial systems with the Sharia, then to make sure that this strategy works, because it's going to require money. Babangida, as the self-appointed president of Nigeria, put his hand into the treasury of Nigeria, took $21 billion out and gave it to OIC, to the Islamic Development Fund of OIC, and said, take this money for the total, I'm quoting, for the total Islamization of Nigeria in particular and Africa in general. Babangida paid $21 billion of our money to turn Nigeria into an Islamic nation. And they have started. Boko Haram, don't look at it as something that is isolated to the northeast. It is meant to cover the entire nation until Christianity is eradicated in all its forms and ramifications. There are two ideologies inside the Nigerian constitution. Let me show you something. Sharia is mentioned in your constitution 73 times. Islam 28 times. Grand Qadi 54 times. Muslim 10 times in the Nigeria Constitution 1999. There is no single mention of Christ in the Nigerian Constitution. No single mention of Christian in the Nigerian Constitution. No single mention of Christianity in the Nigerian Constitution. No single mention of church in the Nigerian Constitution. Now I ask you, sir, I ask you, ma, is your country an Islamic state, a Christian state, or a secular state? Which one is Nigeria? There is an Islamic agenda for Nigeria. In 1983, OIC held a strategy meeting in London. And at that meeting, they strategized how to turn the whole of Africa into an Islamic continent. The reason of OIC is that Africa is the only continent that has the largest population of Muslims in the world. Therefore, the entire continent should be Islamic. They produced a 322-page document. After that strategy session, 156 pages focused on Nigeria. They identified 7 key nations that must be captured before they can turn Africa into an Islamic continent. The 7 nations are Nigeria, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, and Democratic Republic of Congo. OIC says these 7 nations must primarily be Islamized. And of these 7 nations, Nigeria is number 1. Once they Islamize Nigeria, then there is no problem with Islamizing Kenya. So when you hear of terrorist attack in Kenya, that they attack the mall in Kenya, it is not isolated from what Boko Haram is doing in Nigeria. It's the same. Get the connection. After they did that, OIC now zoned Nigeria. Now this is interesting. Our current geopolitical zone structure, South-South, Southeast, Northeast, Northwest, North Central, you know it was not designed by any Nigerian government. I hope you know that. Or you don't know? I hope you know that there is no Nigerian law backing it. I hope you are aware that it was not passed by any constituent assembly or by any constitutional sitting or by any national referendum. It was designed by OIC in 1983. OIC broke Nigeria into 6 zones. Not to unite us as a people, not to develop us as a nation, but to break us into little groups for the purpose of Islamization.
That is what is going on. It's still going on. It has not ended, and it's not going to end because they are struggling. The only way out is they can take the other parts of Nigeria and do with them whatever they want. But you see something, Biafra land is going to be their graveyard. They will never succeed. They will try. Even after we've gone, our children will continue with the struggle. It's not going to end. Once it has taken over, it's taken shape, there is nothing anybody there can do about it. We are resolute. We are blessed people. Everybody in Biafra land is Igbo. When they say Igbo, it's unfortunately, it's a language called Igbo language. No, everybody's just like in the Jewish community. That's why we are Igbo. Whether you like it or not. Language is just corruption of the original language. Unfortunately, like I said before, I don't know if it's proper to use the word unfortunately, there are people speaking that ancient Igbo. The ancient people, these are people who are older. Ndebo means eternity. Adam and Eve, all of them. The ancient people, that's what we are. Accuse us of all kinds of things, but you know we are blessed. There is nothing anybody, sometimes they call it arrogance. Oh, we have got arrogant. We're not arrogant. We're just telling the truth. And when you speak the truth, it looks like you are arrogant. Actually, the truth remains that we are blessed people. There's something anybody can do.
Why I am proudly Igbo. The first black vice chancellor of the University of Ibadan was an Igbo man named Professor Kenneth Iyke. The first vice chancellor of the University of Lagos was an Igbo man named Professor Eni Njoku. The first Nigerian rector of the then Yaba College of Technology was also an Igbo man. The first Nigerian professor of mathematics was an Igbo man named Professor Chike Obi, the man who solved Fermat's last theorem. He was followed by another Igbo man named Professor James Ezelo, professor of differential calculus and the founder of the Ezelo constant. The first Nigerian professor of history was an Igbo man, Professor Kenneth Iyke, who also became the first black vice chancellor of the University of Ibadan. The first Nigerian professor of botany was an Igbo man named Professor Eni Njoku. He went on to become the very first vice chancellor of the University of Lagos. The first Nigerian professor of anatomy and physiology is Professor Chike Edozien of Asaba. The first Nigerian professor of physics was Professor Okoye, an Imo man who became a professor of physics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA in 1960. He was followed by the likes of Professor Alexandra Animalo, who has been nominated for the Nobel Prize for Physics 3 times for his research in intermediate quantum physics. In nuclear physics and chemistry, again another Igbo man, Professor Frank Ndele, who gained a PhD in his early 20s at Cambridge University in nuclear physics and chemistry in the early 60s. This young Asaba man had made a first class in physics and mathematics at the then University College Ibadan in the early 50s. First professor of statistics, Professor Adeshie, whose research on non-parametric statistics led to new areas in statistical research. What about the first Nigerian professor of medicine, Professor Cordelenye? He was appointed a professor of medicine at the University of London in 1952. He later became the vice chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, after the war. What about astronomy? Again, another Igbo man was the first professor of astronomy. Please look up Professor Ntukoju. He was the first to earn a double PhD in astronomy and mathematics. Let's go to the social sciences, demography and statistical research into population studies. Again, another Igbo man, Professor Okonjo, who set up the first center for population research in Ibadan in the early 60s. A double PhD in mathematics and economics. Philosophy, Professor J.D. Okafor, who became a professor at philosophy at the Amherst College, USA in 1953. Economics, Dr. Pius Okibo, who became a visiting scholar and professor of economics at the University of London in 1954. He is also the first Nigerian PhD in economics. Theology and theological research, Professor Njoku, who became the first Nigerian to earn a PhD in theology from Queen's University, Belfast in Ireland. He was appointed a professor of theology at the University College Zambia in 1952. The Nigerian University Commission, NUC, has a record of the state with the highest number of professors in Nigeria. And as at 2014, the state is Imo State. You can go to this commission and verify it is an Igbo state. Anambra State was the first in WAEC, Unity School Entrance Exam, NECO and presidential debate in 2013, 2014 and 2015. Therefore, whenever some people address you Igbos as mare traders and keke riders, tell them that in addition to doing very well in business, science, technology and sports, you are also ahead in academia. No amount of hatred can change blessings from God.
That's correct. That's the essence of that. I want you to listen. This is wonderful. It's unbelievable. Like one day traders, we are not trading. Everything we do, we excel. God has blessed us. The ancient people were older than the religion that you practice. We have a tradition, and that tradition is something that leads us on regardless of what anybody says. When I said Igbo, I am talking about the Biafrans. I am talking about people that occupy the southeastern region and parts of the Benue state. We are Ndebo, ancient people. Whether you like it or you don't like it, I'm sorry. No apologies. The only person that we rely on is Chukwukike Abiyama. He's the one that leads us, and he's the one that will keep on leading us no matter what anybody does. This is Radio Biafra. USA too, we are still live. You can make your calls. The lines are open for you if you have any call to do. I'll take a quite a very short one, then I'll be right back.
The day Biafra will come, there be no place for evil men. The day Biafra come. Only women will run away. All you evil governors, all you bad politicians.
All right, if you want to call me on Radio Biafra.
Biafra is coming very soon. Mama, cry no more. Papa, cry no more. I got a good news for you. Biafra is coming very soon. Oh, Biafra, the land of rising sun. Biafra, Biafra, Biafra is the hope of all Africa. IPOB, one family. IPOB, one family. One family. IPOB. The day Biafra will come, there be no place for evil men. The day Biafra will come, only women will run away. I thank you, Heavenly Father, for the life of our leader who fight for injustice in the whole Africa. In the person of Mazi and the Kanu, Mohammadike worldwide. I am praying for you. God will surely reward you. What our politician cannot do, what our saboteur cannot do, what our governors cannot do, He has done it for us. The Gilbert Eastern Security Network in the whole of Biafra land. We are happy, we rejoice now. There is protection in our land. Oh, Biafra, the land of the rising sun. Oh, Biafra, it's our motherland. The day Biafra will come, there be no place for evil men. The day Biafra will come, only women will run away.
White, set them white. All we want is freedom. The radio station with more. You're listening to the radio station.
You're listening.
You're listening to this is Radio Biafra.
All right,
we have the Yoruba church. Am I right?
All right.
We have the Igbo church, correct?
Biafra, USA.
We have the Hausa.
We are here, and it's about time since it looks like nobody was interested in talking today. So our time is up. Mazi is going to be next on Radio Biafra USA 1. It's coming in. But don't forget, tomorrow, by His grace, most of us will be back here again to stay with you. Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this program. But you know something, our leader has given us a cardinal point. Things that we need to know about our region. We are not fighting to kill anybody. We don't hate anybody. But what we want is our freedom. And that's what we're going to get, regardless of what they say, regardless of how much they try to stop what we are doing. It's not going to work for them. God knows, because we are resolute. We are very, very resolute people. And when we are resolute, when you're determined to do something, follow our leader. He's very consistent. He has not changed, and he's not going to change anytime soon. If they are thinking that they're going to look at that, somebody's making a call at this time. Let's see what time I have. Okay, maybe I can take this one and oblige the person. Caller, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Mazi, I Peter Sutudoma.
Morning. Welcome to the program.
Ndewo. Oh, hey, Biafra. Oh, hey, Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu ọmarịcha nwa Chineke nyere anyị ka anyị were dozie obodo anyị ka mụ na gị dịrị ibe. Nnamdi Kanu ọmarịcha nwa Chineke nyere anyị ka anyị were dozie obodo anyị ka mụ na gị dịrị ibe. Ụkwụ ya sam sam, ijukwu ya sam sam, omume ya sam sam, bụrụ enyi ya kọmputa. Ụkwụ ya sam sam, ijukwu ya sam sam, omume ya sam sam, bụrụ enyi ya kọmputa. Onye ọ na-ewe ya webe, onye ọ na-asụ ya asụba, onye ọ na-ewe ya webe, bụrụ enyi ya kọmputa. Chukwu okike abịa m onye kere eluigwe ke a na-agọziere anyị onye ndu anyị Chukwu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, onye Chukwu okike abịa ma zutere ka o wee zọpụta ndị nke ya n'ala dị nsọ, n'ala Biafra. Ndị iro anyị British na Fulani and Yoruba na-emegide ya, onye aka ya dọcha ka ha na-emegide. Chukwu okike abịa ma amara m n'oge tugo wee pụta n'ebe ahụ ọ nọ, because ọ gịnwa zitere ya, anọ na-emekwe n'ife izitere ya. IPOB all over the world, ndị Igbo, anyị bụ ndị Igbo. Igbo bụ ofu, Igbo bụ one family. We have to go for our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Is our savior. Without Nnamdi Kanu, ndị Igbo are gone. Igbos, Biafrans all over the world. We have our people all over the world, in Caribbean, in Latin America. I am calling from Bucaramanga, Colombia. I know our people here. In Pacific, you will see Biafrans there.
Thank you. Let's go.
Caribbeans, we see them there. Biafrans, it's time to go. We are not Nigeria. What we demand is the referendum. British did referendum and come out from EU. That is what our leader asking. And they put him in prison. They jail innocent man with a family, and they are there with their own family, enjoying their own family. But somebody that is innocent is in prison. Chukwu Kikabiama.
Thank you.
Freedom will we get. British cannot do anything for stop Biafrans from freeing from slavery for a long time. And Masreti Chukwemeka, I Peters, Mazi Jonathan, our DOS, our media warriors, because I am in Allah Biafra. We have to come together and liberate ourselves. Mazi Peters,
They will all help Biafra. Thank you very much. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. We're almost coming to an end. We have a few more minutes. I can take one or two more calls before I call it a day. But I want you to stay tuned. Don't go away even after I'm out of here, because Mazi Alozi is going to be next. The USA 1 is coming in. Our leader have told us and made it very clear that our cardinal points, and which is very, very interesting, is something that we'll be repeating every day as a mantra for us to know that we have plans and our plans are not going to change. All right, let me take one call. Caller, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Caller, good morning. You're online. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. All right, he didn't want to talk. The line was open for him to say whatever he wants to say. Maybe it's a first-time caller. He's expecting me to. I don't know what he's expecting actually, but he has hung up. And Like I said before, our leader have told us our cardinal point, our cardinal, what we have to bear in mind is what IPOB stands for, and there is nothing anybody can do to change all that. We are not struggling to change anything. We are following what our leader have said, and vehemently, strongly, unequivocally, we are going to survive. We're going to, our life depends on Biafra, and we're going to get this Biafra whether they like it or they don't like it. Stay tuned. He was in court for the first time. We heard him speak. He was excited because we never heard his voice for a long time, but at least he came up and then he said, "So I'm not going to take this call. I don't want people calling me on private line. Please call me on the new phone lines. Discontinue the use of this. If you are calling me because you want to speak on radio, the number is 845-907-2230. Let me take this caller again. If he doesn't talk this time, I'm not going to bother with him anymore. Caller, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, Mazi. I don't know. I thought before, but it's like I'm not hearing you. I don't know if
you're not hearing me. How can you say?
Let me be speaking because I don't know. No, I can't hear you.
Just
well, my name. I have name with calling from my location, Mazi. What I want to say now is, like the clip you played, that let's say when commander maybe an officer talking about the raid, people already in IPOB, explaining that the IPOB camp, they raid the ESN camp. One thing I want to ask you, IPOB is not a criminal. It's not criminal. It's not criminal gang. Also, it's criminal group. People already try to read IPOB. It's not IPOB for what? Every people, other people have their original security, have their security. ESN is security force. How they provide for our people. This ESN is internal security. They are not criminals. So the people should stop reading ESN or ESN. They are not criminals. These people are people who are protecting our land. And people should know that. Sulu is that what we talk about Sulu before. Sulu calling military to come and invade people that is supposed to protect. We are there killing them. I don't know when before Sulu become governor, he's one he said that IPOB is not a criminal group. IPOB is legitimate people. People are fighting for that freedom. Why are you not inviting Sulu to invade them? Why? That's why you see what British like what our left so said there are British shamelessly abandon their citizens because of interest of money. So human life is not important anymore. Tomorrow they will talk about people human rights. But now they abandon their citizens openly about the court. According to that, the court rule that because of one person they can't lose their economic interest. Because of economic interest, they abandon their citizens. And the whole world is hearing this. Tomorrow people will be open to the mouth and taking rubbish. So there's something that I want to point out in our leadership in that watch. Before our leader began to speak, he was in lawyer, and he was in lawyer. He asked the question mark. Just like he asked the question, he asked it. University. Because they are talking about lawyers, and he asked them, University. And then he said, "Oh, they are the he said, this is people should go back to that. Before the beginning of that case, he said, it was actually the last question. University, it was not that place, it's okay, but University, he tried to ask them about, because starting of this lawyer, I don't know if our leader are aware of the other. Maybe the other before and because he tried to ask him.
Okay. Let's go there. Hold on, sir. Hold on. If you have a tape, just send. If you have a tape, send it to us. We know that. Let me go straight. Are you hearing me? Can you listen? Are you hearing me?
No, you didn't know that going on between the lawyers. I want that didn't know that the lawyers is doing, and the action that.
All right, thank you so much. It looks like you're not hearing me. I'm trying to stop you there because I don't really know what you're talking about. If you have anything, if you're listening, if you have anything, send me the clip. I want to listen to it. The barrister Ejiofor Ozakome and Ejiofor, for God's sake. If you guys were following this case, these men have gotten an A+. They finished their job. They finished. Our leader is being held there incommunicado. So other lawyers can come in and if they think they know better, we are here watching them. But IPOB will stay away from this case for now. Caller, good morning. You have a very quick one because I need to round up. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon from here. Can you hear me?
Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mazi. I will speed up. This is your son Ugo calling from our location. And I salute you. Onyendu, I salute you. Mendebo Bihar Richard continue to power you. The DOS, HODOS, and the IPOB, press and sisters, I salute you. I want to use this opportunity to tell Biafrans that we are winning. If we are not winning, Nigerian government will not be panicking. All I'm asking for Biafrans, whenever you see Nigerian government with their army, Janjaweed army, come up with anything, debunk it. That is why now our people. Moi, as you see me here, and I'm a cash. Oh no, I'm a DNA. And when GMA, you can't help us. Oh no, when we leave the right thing we're supposed to do, when they see that we are deviating, they will be putting some stupid allegation on us because they know they are seeing it as if we are divided, but we are not. That is why I'm asking my people. Go to social media. Social media where going on now. This is where it is. Our people should start debunking everything about Mazi Namgana, about IPOB. Because when they throw out something, we don't debunk it, it will be, people will look as if it is true. Yes? So, what I'm saying is this. Our people, you can now see that Onyendu, if you cannot see his anger on that court that day, if you open a hooker here, then something is wrong with every one of us. Something is wrong with me. Open a hole, now and then when interest. Onyendu has been discharged and acquitted. Why is Jumako taking him back to Kakon? When the system against Honda, why? First of all, Jugodonwegi, why is Jumako fighting a Jofa? Our interest, our life kind of fighting. Why must you fight your own brother? You can walk hand to hand. When we got our freedom, the worshiping people as a hero is because of that. Why you get job? Why you get job? So why you get job? People are not happy because of Jofo and they also come by the side. People are not happy. Even Onyendu have dictated it, or they are happy. Onyendu that is to body. Onyendu that is why they say, oh, Bronya get delay, we are that now. Lawyer assistant. Jumako is working with the Nigerian government. Mazin Namdekano have no lawyer. Just as far as I'm concerned, you should have Mazin Namdekano with a lawyer now. There is no how you can convince me that Jumako is not working with the Nigerian government. Upon allegation is the fact. What prompts you to be fighting a Jofa while you know that these people have secured on the court of the ruling we stand there? Mazin Namdekano have been discharged and acquitted. Do not try him again. There is no court will try him again. And they pay him whatever they ask to pay him. Let him go. Why do you this guy? Mazi, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I'm asking Biafrans and the DOS that are listening. let us keep debunking everything Nigerian government, their soldiers, or whatever they have been throwing against us. God knows that the IPOB are not violent. We have been giving international community evidence about Ekperim and his gang. We have been telling them, and they know. If they say them a hammer, check up they know. Biafrans, don't panic.
Yeah, well.
We are winning this war.
Oh, yes.
Only they must be released. And our people that Nigerian government has been killing, one day, they will answer for it. One day. And I will say it here. The DOS, if people are listening, there is no need to be hiding it again. No. Push away for the Russian government. Which interest? Before push one in the simple as ABC, because Nigerian, if you see how that man say it, Nigerian government, they are more than Pharaoh. These people are Nigerians are evil. These are demons. Until you behave like demon like them. And one day, that they can't matter that this wickedness that our own guys times too.
There were. Thank you so much. All right, this is Radio Biafra USA 2. We finally come to the end of today's broadcast. We'll tell you that no matter what they do, we just want you to remain steadfast and know that
always, even if it leads to your death,
our leader have told us
you must help the poor and those who cannot help themselves, and be of good character that God may love thee. That's who we are.
So what will be your words to those?
Our family is based on 4 cardinal points. You must be without fear before your enemies. You must speak the truth always, even if it leads to your death. You must help the poor and those who cannot help themselves, and be of good character that God may love thee. That's who we are.
That's it. That's what we are, and that's what we remain, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop us. All right, with this, we've come to the end of today's broadcast, but please stay tuned for Mazi Alozie, who is coming in next. Tomorrow, we'll be here again. But I want to remind you, keep it in the back of your mind, that Biafra is our religion. And here on Radio Biafra is where we worship. Nothing that anybody can do that can move us from what we are doing. From here, from me, it's goodbye. See you again tomorrow, same time.
Last hope we have is in Biafran restoration. I believe. Listen to Radio Biafra. It's where we worship. As a Chukukike Adiyamra, it's your kingdom come. Listen to